So apparently we're still talking about this, the Gulf of America, as Trump calls it, or the Gulf of Mexico. Republicans are pushing forward legislation to solidify into law that name change so that the dear leader can be happy about it. I'll show you what Marjorie had to say. I'll show you Democrats on the House floor responding after she advocated for this legislation. And then I'll tell you what it is actually about, right? Why are they so obsessed with this? There's an answer, and I'll give it to you right after this break. No. Actually, yeah, please do click the subscribe button. There we go. There's the break.
Gentlewoman from Georgia is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm honored to be here today in front of the American people as we debate the merits of the Gulf of America Act. This would rename the body of water formerly known as the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. This is such an important thing to do for the American people.
So important. They ran on we're going to lower prices and do all these amazing things, and now we're talking about the Gulf of America being important.
Well, the American people deserve pride in their country, and they deserve pride in the waters that we own, that we protect with our...
The last time I was at Galveston, I went and I put my little toesies in the water. Splash, splash, and I thought, this is nice. But it sucks that I'm not proud of this water. Do you know what I mean? It was like, damn, I wish I could be proud of this water. It's all right. It's not great.
Military and our Coast Guard and all of the businesses that prosper along these waters. But Democrats today are outraged. They're outraged because they love the cartels more than any other people in the world, more than the American people. They spent the past 4 years funding and voting for policies that ripped our borders open and allowed our country to be invaded by millions and millions of people. Drugs and fentanyl that murdered over 300 Americans every single day, human trafficking, child sex trafficking, terrorists, and millions of people that we have no idea where they are in the interior of this country.
So we've addressed those talking points before, but what Gulf? That's why we want the Gulf of Mexico. We're just really patriotic towards Mexico, and we also are patriotic towards cartels in Mexico. So we want to honor the cartels. Really? This is the argument? To honor the cartels, we want the Gulf of Mexico. That's why Democrats are opposed to this. Oh, gosh, Mark.
I feel like I'm dying inside.
A little bit.
Democrats are outraged today because they are America last, and they hate anything that would give the American people pride. The Gulf of America is one of the most important things that we can do this Congress. This is an executive order written by the President of the United States, which, by the way, is...
This is one of... What'd you hear? I didn't hear. No, sheesh. This is one of the most important things we can do this Congress. Again, we're going to get to Democrats' reaction, which is good. But what about all those things you promised to do? This wasn't even a campaign item. Let's listen to the United States.
Of America is one of the most important things that we can do this Congress. This is an executive order written by the President of the United States, which, by the way, is
that we got to get that on the soundboard. That's good. United States.
Which, by the
yes,
written by the President of the United States, which, by the way, is president today because the American people rose up and voted against a Democrat party that was completely America last. Section 1 of the executive order lays out the purpose and policy and directive stating, it is the national interest to promote the extraordinary heritage of our nation and ensure future generations of American citizens celebrate the legacy.
Okay, why do we name things? Why do we name things like geographical locations? To know what we're talking about when we speak them out. We go, oh, I'm headed to Galveston, right? Oh, I know Galveston. But if I called it Lukeland, no one would know what I was talking about. Why would I want Galveston to be Lukeland? I don't know. That doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't I pick a nicer beach? I don't know. But I'm a Texas guy. What can I say? Shooey! And you should see the boots in my closet. You really should. You should see the cowboy hats. I have them. You don't think I do? You don't think I do? I grew up in Texas. I got the hats. I got the cowboy hats. So Galveston, Luke Land. You'd be confused. So in this case, there's this body of water. It's not like she brought up these issues. It's not like switching the name does anything for the cartels. It doesn't do anything about fentanyl. It doesn't do anything about any of those issues. It just makes it more confusing for people. Now, it's sort of like there's a lot of things like this where I don't really care. I just think it's strange. I don't really care. I just think it's strange. What I do care about, which is why on principle I have to oppose this, even though I heart America, is that it's obviously a distraction technique, which we'll circle back to. But Hakeem Jeffries said this.
And so I'm here strongly urging a no vote against this small-minded, silly, and sycophantic bill. And I can say without hesitation, reservation, or need for clarification that America is not down with MTG. I yield back.
I feel like him and Gavin Newsom do a very similar, I can say without hesitation, reservation, or clarification that I'm sick of the pontification on the part of the
United Nations.
Sure. Yeah, no. Sorry. I wanted to be there for you, buddy. No, that doesn't work. I
just wanted to be a part of it.
On the part of the representative from our nation. But I like nation. That was good. That's good. But the rhyming's fun. But yeah, the point makes sense that I don't think most Americans care about this at all. During a hearing, you had a Democratic congressman saying this.
We're here because Chairwoman Marjorie Taylor Greene thinks that if she picks on vulnerable people, like trans folks, she can avoid having a discussion about the allegations of insider trading against her. She thinks that she can distract from the fact that Trump and MAGA Republicans are raising your costs every single day, suppressing your wages every single day, stealing your taxpayer dollars every single day, and threatening your health care. That's the reason we're at this crazy hearing.
Yeah, so that was at a different hearing. But whether it be about trans stuff or the Gulf of America or one of the things I guest hosted the Damage Report and we talked about this, which was just get ready. In a world where they're going into the midterms with these economic results and these policy disasters, they're going to bring out the craziest culture war things you've ever heard of. And maybe despite it not being that popular, they'd rather talk about the Gulf of America than the disaster of their policy. So just the random things they focus on is so often because at least they believe that discourse is more advantageous to them than what would be discussed otherwise. I was going to play for you, but we'll go ahead and wrap early on this segment. But you can show this Jade in Blue, Georgia, linked to Anderson Cooper's segment about literal investors in Trump's meme coin who are companies out and out saying, we're hoping to purchase this crypto to make Trump money so that he'll listen to our concerns on XYZ issue. So the corruption we were scared of, maybe this is another thing they don't want us to discuss about. So Gulf of America, which is just the out and out corruption that we're seeing within the Trump administration. You can take that down. I'll leave it there though. Share your thoughts in the comments.